Do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners. Medical House presents Bermuda's most viewed and listened to talk show. The Daily Hour starts now.
Alrighty, it's Wednesday, the 30th day of September. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zool. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you haven't already, we say it every single episode. Share the link, start a watch party. Just get the conversation out there to your network. Today, happy election eve. I think that's something that we can say. Happy election eve. The daily play is a read it, don't sing it. So Carla's guessing the lyrics to a very popular song today. So should be easy for her to get. Um, yeah, I'm giving her a chance. She's been on a roll. I think today's daily play will be very easy for Carla to get. I'll leave it at that. If she has trouble with this one, folks, then yeah, there's no hope. There's no hope. But quite the week so far. Heading tomorrow is the general election for Bermuda, and so much to talk about there. But before we get to Bermuda's election, I have to speak about what I witnessed last night. The U.S. presidential election is November, and they had their first debate among the incumbent and the challenger, um, President Trump, as well as what's his name, Joe Biden. And so it was something. It was something. It was. I don't even know. I don't want to be derogatory because there's got to be some words in the English language, the vocabulary that I can find to describe it without being excessive. But it was quite the show. Um, I just let me share my opinion about how it came across to me. Trump's strategy seemed extremely clear, which was to bully Joe Biden and show him as a weak leader. That's what it looked like to me. Biden's strategy seemed like he was supposed to stay focused on speaking to the American people and remind them that it's not about him, it's about them, right? However, I think sitting in an unbiased seat, sitting in a position where I really have no dog in this fight, I'm going to venture to say that Donald Trump supporters may be a bit more happy with how it went. I mean, it was a train wreck, if we're honest, but I think they have more to be happy about after what I saw. May be different. I don't know.
Why happy?
Because their president showed out. He defended his good old buddies, the
Good
far
old boys of
yeah, Proud Boys of them. Yeah, I think they'll be satisfied and happy with the night that Trump had. I'm gonna be honest. I fell asleep probably about 20 minutes before it ended. There was name calling, mainly Joe Biden calling him a clown and a liar, and then what I witnessed was Donald Trump making accusations where Joe Biden would say 200,000 people have been lost on your watch, right? And Trump will respond, it would have been 2 million. So you're dealing in hypotheticals, right? Yeah. So it was quite, I don't know, it was something. And I feel for the people. I really feel for the people. No, I must say this here. I truly don't believe Bermuda's politics would have been so gutter. I cannot see face to face David, Bert, Mark Bean, and Craig Kennedy calling each other names. I just don't see that happening based on the cultural setup of our political leaders. It may happen amongst the supporters of the groups. I mean, PLP supporters call any black person who supports another party a sellout or a coon, stuff like that. And then people who support the PLP are called Kool-Aid drinkers and so on. But I don't think you would hear that language coming out of the political leaders in Bermuda. I give them credit for that. Like, it's just, I don't think they're that low. I could be wrong. Yes, Robert Durham's correct. He said stand down and stand by, which stand by would mean to me, hey, I might need you, but just stand by for now.
Relax. I'm coming. If you need me, be ready if I need you. Mm-hmm. First of all, let me apologize. There's construction going on both sides.
I apologize. Just keep going. They don't know.
So I couldn't watch it live because I'm in the UK, but I watched it first thing this morning, the highlights on CNN. When he, meaning Trump, went and talked about Joe Biden's drug addicted son, I thought that was a low blow. Well, he and one of his what I'm getting is that Republicans are disappointed as well. But one gentleman on this panel said, "Oh, he said he was going to be fire, and he was fire." And Van Jones said, "And you're proud of that?" And then one lady said, "Oh, I still liked everything he said. I just may not have liked how he delivered it." So that's scary to me, because does that mean that people are still going to vote for this man? I know they will, but
after last night, probably even more will. Again, as I stated, Donald Trump's strategy seemed very clear: to come out and show Joe Biden as a weak leader, talk over him, be louder than him. And if you're a swing voter and you can, that's what you're looking for in a leader, like, hey, to be able to bully other leaders throughout the world, then that may appeal to you. Joe Biden came across, and I think Jamal Hill may have said it, former ESPN analyst who got in trouble for calling Donald Trump a white supremacist. She might have said, like, yo, the Democrats need to stop this going high stuff. They need to, I hate to say this, and I know people are going to be like, oh, Bernie Sanders would have wiped the floor with Donald Trump last night. Politics, it's a sport. And Donald Trump has never looked as good against an opponent the way he looked last night, because he controlled it. He even controlled the moderator. He was dominating Chris Wallace. So obviously the next debate, you're going to have a moderator that's more prepared for Donald Trump. Why didn't they cut his mic? He kept going on, kept talking. Nobody thought to cut his mic after the first or second time. It was unbelievable to me how Donald Trump pretty much controlled that entire debate.
But it would be interesting to see his tweets today, if he hasn't already started talking about how great he was. I'm sure he will be doing that today.
And to be honest, his supporters are going to lap it right up. And there's swing voters at this point in time who might feel like, he's a dominant leader. That's what we want. But I think I'm going to respond to Charles. I think that's what you want to believe, though. A swing voter that's looking for a leader like that, I'm telling you, they're jumping all over this guy. Because again, as Jamal Hill said, like, I'm looking at Twitter, and at first it's all coming across where I said I definitely need less liberals in my timeline, because I'm like, how can anyone really think that Joe Biden's winning this? This is not about who you like. This is about who's making a bigger impact. And now, Trump didn't sound believable, let me be honest. When Joe Biden started saying, when he's brought up Joe Biden's son, and he said, we're not going to go into families and start it, that's when I was like, there you go, Joe. Go after his family. Like, we cannot go into politics and say we're going to go high and the other person's going low. It's about what the voter is going to believe. It's not about what you want to happen. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, like I said, what I was watching this morning, they were saying that Biden didn't gain any supporters. They felt that Biden was okay. He didn't do anything that really made an impact, except they felt that he took it like a man, all the abuse and the overriding and all of that. But the snippets I saw, I was just like, wow.
You know who else took it like a man? The greatest, Muhammad Ali, when they could touch him and when they could hit him. after his career didn't work out too well. The point I'm making is the Democrats have to go back harder. You have to, I did appreciate, and maybe a lot of people don't like name calling, but I did appreciate Joe Biden, the clown remark, and this guy's a liar, right? You have to match it like that. Sometimes, you have to fight fire with fire sometimes. I'm not going to say, oh, just put water on it. This is an election. This is about people's lives. And, to answer my good friend Robert about how would Bernie wipe the floor if you cannot get a word in? Easily, because you don't let that person keep going. Joe Biden was stopping and letting him continue to go. So what's happening at that point is Trump's getting his points across, whether true or not. And it's less time for Joe, and has lost his momentum. So when Joe Biden had his momentum, Trump interrupted, and so it did help him. Come on, we if you really want Joe Biden to win, you gotta admit they have to go back to the drawing board and come back with a better strategy, because last night was not it.
Do you think Joe Biden has that in him, though, Jamal?
Yes, he has it in it. Joe Biden's been doing this 47 years. Even to Donald Trump saying to me when I heard him say, Joe's been here for 47 years and he hasn't done anything. Right? Joe, pull up your record, bro. Okay. In 47 years, this is what I've done. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, I don't think enough people can put their feelings aside to truly have an objective view of this. And that to me is why one person wins and the other person doesn't. I just said about the Bermuda election yesterday. People cannot put their own bias aside to truly look at this and say, you know what, his right, his wrong. We all know what we're dealing with. But if you can't look at last night and see that Donald Trump, the way his strategy was likely set up to bully this guy, bully the entire thing, not get reprimanded by Chris Wallace and the organizers, right? Not get his mic cut, and show Joe Biden as a weak leader. If you cannot honestly see that, take your glasses off. Take your biased glasses off. Seriously. So my hope is that the Democrats and his team understand the opportunity lost, and they go back to the drawing board and find a way to take care of business next time. Dijon makes a great point. Moderator was trash and the platform lacks diversity. The whole debate signaled exactly what America is right now, a dumpster fire. I saw the criticism for Chris Wallace, and I mean, it was likely justified. Again, I'm not understanding how they didn't cut his mic. How did you not have the ability to cut it from where the directors were? Like, what happened? It's shameful.
Ratings and viewership.
Yeah, well, I was listening to Joyanne Reed before, and she basically said, it's a TV show now, right? The debate, even the rallies, they've become TV shows. They're no longer just these political events. So yeah, you're right from a ratings and Donald Trump would probably say, like, even let's be honest, this was probably the most childish, not like that matters to people who vote for him, but one of the most childish things I've witnessed, saying that the reason Joe Biden's having virtual or smaller gatherings because no one wants to show up. We've seen the numbers game with President Trump. We've seen how many people showed up when he was inaugurated. Like this, that's not the stuff that they should be debating. And he was asked about race, right? He was asked about race. And he literally changed the subject to police and law and order. And Chris Wallace didn't bring him back. Chris Wallace did not follow up with this guy. And I'm just like, you know what? We have to talk about Bermuda. There'll be another debate on, I believe, the 15th and 28th, I think. We have to get to Bermuda. A lot to talk about in Bermuda. Let's go to Charles real quickly. No way, Jamal, he didn't say one thing that made an objective swing voter come to his side. Who was leaning Trump's way? Now, be solid over there now, but objectively speaking, you want 4 more years of that. I disagree, Charles. An objective voter would have seen Joe Biden as weak last night. I'm an objective voter. Well, I can't vote, but I'm that objective person. I would consider myself probably the most objective person in my circle. If I were looking at that, I would think Joe Biden's a weak leader. So speaking to me, put me in that position, that would be me. Terry, Trump's entire presidency and pre-election in 2016 has been a TV show. No doubt. No doubt. Nikki, it was extremely childish and wouldn't have been a good look for Joe to go there too. The entire thing said, I disagree. Joe has to go there. Look, Michelle Obama made a great statement. When they go low, we go high. Nah, bruh. Not in 2020.
See, but I don't think I agree with Nikki. I don't think that's the way to do it, Jamal. I get it. I know, like, seriously, everyone's talking about how horrible Trump was, etc. But I don't think it put Joe Biden in a bad light. You're saying it shows he's a weak leader. And I just think it shows that he knows how to be quiet, because Trump will implode eventually, in my opinion.
We thought that before the 2016 election too. So, yeah, we have some stuff to talk about. There's a former minister, Wayne Keynes. Yeah, we have to talk about Wayne Keynes, and also want to touch on, after the news caller, 28,000 jobs lost at Disney, and looks like majority of them, I think 67% were part-timers. But let's go to the news. We'll come back and we'll address Keynes and some key areas, because it is
Pre-election eve.
You know, so election eve, does that mean like people stay up all night and wait till Santa comes?
Not me.
I don't know. I don't know how this works. All right, cool. Let's go to the news.
More than 90% of people in a poll this year said that the government had handled the COVID-19 crisis well, the Royal Gazette is reporting. A survey by Total Research Associates and Narrative Research found that 92% of the 400 people they talked to between April 22nd and April 29th were satisfied with the overall response to the pandemic. 1/3 said they were completely satisfied with the response, and 60% reported they were mostly satisfied. The main reasons were said to be government's strong communication efforts, the implementation of the lockdown, and an overall belief that the administration had done a good job. Voters who turn out for the general election tomorrow will have an extra layer of protection from COVID-19, a government spokeswoman has said. Saliva tests for the coronavirus will be offered by the Ministry of Health for officials employed by the parliamentary registrar, as well as election candidates. Opening hours at the Pewatt Post Office Test Center on Queen Street in Hamilton will be extended from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. today to allow tests to be carried out on election night staff and candidates. For more information, contact the COVID-19 hotline on 444-2498. When asked during the first presidential debate last night to condemn white supremacists, President Donald Trump did not, and instead told the Proud Boys, a controversial right-wing group tied to violence against protesters, to, quote, stand back and stand by, because someone's got to do something about Antifa. When moderator Chris Wallace asked President Trump to unequivocally condemn white supremacists and militia groups, Mr. Trump responded, I would be willing to do that, but everything I'm seeing is from the left wing, not from the right wing, end quote. A U.S. judge who temporarily blocked an order which would have banned the popular video sharing app TikTok from smartphone app stores. A judge has temporarily blocked an order which would have banned the popular video sharing app TikTok from smartphone app stores. The order from the administration of President Donald Trump was due to take effect on 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. A more comprehensive ban remains scheduled for November, about a week after the presidential election. The Judge Carl Nichols of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia did not agree to postpone the later ban. The ruling followed an emergency hearing on Sunday morning in which lawyers for TikTok argued that the administrator's App Store ban would infringe the company's First Amendment rights and do irreparable harm to its business. Jamal, you've probably heard the saying, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Ask a Stupid Question Day was created by a collection of teachers who wanted to make children feel encouraged to ask more questions in the classroom. The best way to encourage other people to ask stupid questions is to ask them yourself. Turning to weather on Election Day Eve, Bermuda's high today will be 82. It will be 77 in Seattle, Washington, and 59 in Bristol, UK. Just a reminder that we will have live election coverage tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. in Bermuda. We will be live on all social media platforms and on Channel 82 if you have One Communications. Don't forget to tune in to the 4100radio.com tonight for Nighttime Jams featuring some of your favorite romantic classics. That's your Daily Hour news break.
I think that's the most pointless day ever. Like, you said Ask a Stupid Question Day was created by teachers. So basically they're saying children have stupid questions so they can, well, okay, whatever.
No, it's the opposite. It's basically saying no question is stupid, so ask away.
But that's a lie. Some questions
it seems like, no, they're not.
Yeah, they damn out. See, this is that, I'm going to go back to Kristen White when she was on her about this Bermudian kindness. Well, got to be honest. If somebody asks a damn stupid question, it's stupid. Let's be honest. Talking about. Got these people out here, politicians, politicking all this time. I ain't got a politic. I'm not going for nobody's vote. Some questions are stupid. So today, stupid people, stupid questions can be asked. Let's go take a break. We'll be right back. We got some cans to talk about.
Bermuda College has facilitated
Oops, wrong one.
Good day, Medical House, Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
I found myself being a caregiver. Even though I was a nurse, I still needed help on, what was available in hospital beds and all that kind of equipment, and I knew where to go. I went to Medical House.
Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
I was very pleased with Medical House and the help they gave me when I most needed it.
Your experience with Medical House is about getting your needs met, but we also try to provide knowledge to help you through whatever you're experiencing.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there is private parking right outside the door.
I would recommend them to anybody.
Call or visit Medical House today.
This month, we're featuring something very special. Aloe drinks in 4 delicious flavors. Aloe drinks start with the natural benefits of real aloe vera, hand-picked and pressed, ensuring goodness that is straight from the leaf, never from powder. This crisp, refreshing base of real aloe vera pulp is then enhanced with a mix of real fruit juices to create a variety of unique flavors. Try aloe drinks with real aloe vera. They go beyond their luscious taste to make you feel amazing from the inside out. Lindos, why go anyplace else?
Tune in to the Full 100 Radio every Tuesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Bermuda time as we bring you the love, romance, sexiness with Nighttime Jams, only on your station for conversations and entertainment. The Full 100 Radio. Download the app available for Android and Apple devices.
Welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman along with Carla Azul. It is the Daily Hour. You know how many places you can find us. Our websites, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Carla, so real quickly, before we even got to Kane. So yesterday, it was the wife's birthday, right? So, I don't really like the beach or water and can't take too much of this 90-degree sun. But yesterday, look what we saw while we were having lunch, right? Let me show you guys. Everybody there? Okay. So this is what we saw. The perfect jet ski for me right here. You see it? Got a cover on it. So, folks, you see all kinds of boats and yachts. Obviously, somebody that was sitting with me for lunch saw this big yacht bigger than that place in back of us come by and they're like, I want that one. And see me, I just need something simple with a cover on the jet ski while I'm riding around. That's it.
But that means you got to be going like 3 miles an hour. What a jet ski?
Yeah. What's wrong with going that?
I don't like jet skis, but if you're gonna be on it, you gotta do it right, Jamal. That man was probably like 97 on that jet ski in the shade.
Well, it is South Florida and it is retirement town, so yeah, probably about right. And he was going mighty slow, just coming from under the bridge. But that's my that would be my boat if I would have purchased one. It would have to have a jet ski like that with a little cover over it. Yeah, that's what I saw yesterday. So, folks, if you see me rolling up around the island, or what's that thing called? non-mariners or any of that stuff, do they even have steel non-mariners? But if you see me rolling up on my jet ski with a cover like that, just mind your business. No questions, just mind your business. All right. But yeah, that's my jet ski dream there. No yacht, something simple like that if I get one. All right. So
Listen.
You what? Your sons play football, so you know a bit about football, right, Carl?
I don't, but I watch, yes.
Okay. Do you know what an earned goal is?
Oh, do I?
Okay. So those who don't know what an earned goal is, it's when somebody pretty much scores a goal in their own net. So you're not scoring one for your team, you're scoring one for the other team. Well, Wayne earned goal Keynes has done it again.
Listen, you and your names, right?
And I say this because from a resume perspective, Wayne Keynes is a great candidate for politics. He ticks the boxes, a regiment guy, does the community and gives money back. That's the perfect resume for a politician. That's what they do. They build up their resume. And then there are a few incidents as highlighted over the years, driving with due care thing. You had the milk situation, and then you had the COVID situation, and now people sharing this video around and whatnot. Here's the challenge, and this is what I learned from one of my first bosses out of college. If you do your best to stay out of harm's way, there's a greater chance you're going to avoid harm. That's not to say it can't happen to you. But if you do your best to avoid it, if you know that if you go on this road, there's more likely greater chance that you'll get in an accident, then go on another road because you're strong and you know that people are more respectful of the road here. It just seems to me, and I don't think that necessarily he was wrong for doing that, but it's a situation that could have been avoided. And that's my only concern with him, is that there are so many things that happen with him that can be avoided if we just make better decisions. It's unfortunate because you have these texts going around, and it's people's perspectives. And I read what was supposedly his response as well, right?
Oh, I didn't see that.
But it doesn't come across good. And when you're in politics, I mean, it's all about optics, right? So it's hard because, again, Wayne Keynes ticks all the boxes to be a Bermudian politician. But at what you say, again, man?
But I think you're assuming that everybody's seen the video.
Oh, right. Well, thank you for saying that, Carla. So there was a video that was shared, and it was pretty much a game between two neighborhoods in his constituency. And pretty much he had put $1,000 up. And another such and such was put up more money as well. And people were saying things like, oh, this is like bribing voters. Actually, I don't think so. And here's what's crazy about this whole situation. We're assuming that all those people are actually registered voters. Are they? Does he know whether they are or not? So, I don't want to pick on Wayne Keynes or be harsh, and I don't expect him to listen to me. But those around him, my only words would be, take care of him, look out for him, and help him to avoid these situations. Because even though he may have done it from the goodness of his heart, goodwill, good spirit, it's not how it's going to be shared. It's not how people are going to see it. And it's just another distraction that Bermudians don't need when people are struggling.
But could it be being devil's advocate? I saw the video. didn't surprise me, but some would say he's bringing two communities together who otherwise could have been beefing, or it's a positive event for a young Black man. They were under probably 35s.
Again, I think that goes back to optics, Carla. Optics.
Yeah. The money looked like it was prize money for a football tournament.
Mm-hmm. Football
game. Oh, geez, a game. I thought it was a tournament. See, there you go, optics. I just think I had some comments from some people, and they were just like, all that money, why would you hold all that money in your hand? That was people's perceptions. Hello?
Okay. Let me check. I didn't know you were done. Shari said he doesn't care about how his decisions are perceived. There are never any consequences. Well, if there's never any consequences, and as I say all the time, then it's up to the electorate. They're the employers, right? I would say there were consequences to his last action because he was no longer a minister after that. Tamara Richardson says feelings over facts. Today's politicians do what feels right rather than what's actually right for the country and the constituents, especially those in what can be some of the hardest hit areas economically in the coming months. Well, thank you for saying that, because here's the other thing. And I really want people to listen and feel what I'm about to say, because this pretty much sums up the Black community in Bermuda, especially. So a politician comes around, offers up $1,000 for a football game, right? I saw a comment, someone's like, yeah, Dunkley won't do this, Here's the difference between giving you crumbs and empowering you. Well, one person's offering you $1,000 for a football game. The other person, who you may not like, is offering you a job that can pay you $1,000 a week or more than that a month. But with that $1,000 that you're getting, are you buying stocks, bonds, or are you going to just spend it at that place of the person that you say would never? You see what I'm saying? So it's nothing empowering about giving $1,000 for this football game. That's not empowerment. Empowerment would be, okay, I'm going to put $1,000 towards a neighborhood stock fund for each of you. That's the difference between us and them. And by the way, a friend of mine actually gave me that example last evening.
I mean, about this is relative. To some people, a few thousand is nothing, while to others, it's everything. When I saw that, I just looked at it as there are so many people who are hungry, who are struggling to feed. I always have one in mama hat, you know that. So I'm thinking it's some parent out there that's struggling to feed their child, and all this money is going up towards a football game, and that money could have been, or at least his portion of the money, and it's not for me to tell him how to use it, but could have been used to help a family in need. I just thought a football game was frivolous.
I think that's missing my point, though, but let me answer this.
No, I hear your point, but that's mine.
FFS, this is the neighborhood he grew up in, and what is wrong with trying to bring the community together, even if it's a very small way? That doesn't, okay. Again, someone said to me about this last night. This is what, I'm just going to repeat what was said. If this is the kind of stuff that people vote for people for, then Bermudians and Bermuda deserve the government they get. If we can't think bigger, if this is the hole that we want to think in, no matter what he does, people seem hellbound to complain. That's not it. That is not it. You cannot continue. It's like a football player that's a defender and keeps scoring own goals, no matter what they do. Okay, let's say this football player scores own goals that cost their team, right? But yet they make some great tackles every now and then. Great tackles. But they keep making those mistakes. This is not about no matter what they do, people are hellbound to complain. It's not good enough. Like, I have a job. I have colleagues. I expect to be reprimanded when I'm in the wrong. I don't think as the employer that you should overlook somebody who continuously does stuff that's probably not in the best interest of people. What we have to stop doing is what was said earlier, right here, feelings over facts.
And I would say this to Sahima as well. I hear you, but you cannot ignore the fact that an election is tomorrow. This video isn't from 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 months ago. An election is around the corner. How can some people not connect dots that could be there? I don't think you can ignore that.
Again, and I said it earlier, I don't think that the individual is necessarily out there meaning ill will or whatnot. It's about the optics, and you should avoid putting yourself, I use myself as an example. My former boss used to always say, avoid putting yourself in certain situations. You can't say people are complaining and picking on somebody that continues to put themselves in certain situations. That we can't do that. Seriously. Terry Too Cool, he could have connected it with a way to generate. That's my point. That's the point I was making with Carla. Is like $1,000 means different things to different people. If that's the case, then Carla, it's not about feeding people today. That was my point. It's about ensuring that people can grow from that $1,000. That's the overall point I'm making. So if that person needs a meal today, don't just give them $1,000 or give them groceries. But you know what? Hey, here's what we're going to do. This is your way. We've created this relationship that you can work to benefit yourself and get food and so on. So that's what I mean by saying things of.
No, I hear you. I got your point. Oh, my point is some people are in immediate need. I'm talking about in the context of the economy right now. I hear you.
I get that. What I was not taken away from immediate need. What I'm saying is you still give at that time, but you show a plan with it. So what I'm saying is if someone needs to eat, I'm not saying you don't feed them, but you feed them, but you also, the saying,
show them how to feed themselves.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Don't just give them $1,000. What's the lesson in it with them? And I used to always use the backpack situation. If we're giving backpacks every year and the same people every year need backpacks, then we're not doing anything other than a charity event that makes us look good. We should ensure that we're doing enough so this person does not need a backpack next year. That's my point. That's the generational wealth. These are the conversations that we don't have. These are the conversations the Black community needs to have. All this stuff about picking on people, no, it's not picking on people. It's expecting more from people that you've put there that are employed by you. It's called accountability. And that's what I'm going to harp on when this election's over, because the PLP will win. But it's up to you whether you want in 5 years to be worse off or better. And if you want to be worse off, you're not going to hold them accountable. It's time. I mean, people keep telling me, no, Jamel, more people are waking up. I don't know. I'm not quite sure people are waking up fast enough. Because if you're afraid to hold people accountable, even if they keep showing you they're messing up, as I stated the other day, I'm concerned for Bermuda. Carla, Renee.
$1,000 is a lot and helpful to someone who had nothing in their pockets. Maybe someone needed milk for their children. That 1,000 would help that person immediately at that time. Yes, it would be better if a job was offered, but he gave what he had. Maybe he didn't have a job to offer. The thing of it is, I think in order to see the video, you have to understand the context, because that Renee sounds all copacetic, but when you see the optics, you'll understand. So hopefully you received the video.
Yeah, and I think I just responded to that as well. It's not about a job or anything. It's like building. Like we have to just stop giving money or doing stuff. We have to also provide the solution, because if not, it's going to come across like, oh, I can afford to give one. Look, this is the whole charity argument. And rich people that avoid paying taxes to give a couple of dollars so that it looks good. The optics of it looks good. But then what else have they done for that community? Or do they have to do anything at all? Jody Eve says, thank you, Jamel. My question was, what good will the money do for the betterment of others? Take the money, buy clothes, food, supplies, and let them give it to the families in need of those neighborhoods. Judith R. Parsons, political immaturity, Eugene Johnston. I think.
Just quoting him.
Quoting Eugene in reference to something that was said here. Okay. Lisa James, show them a sustainable long-term plan to enhance currency. And that's pretty much what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If we're going to go that route, then let's encourage them to be better. No, let me just say this. When I was coaching in Bermuda, I always said, like, as a coach, I do not care whether this team wins or loses. I care about creating young men that are going to be beneficial to the society that they'll live in once they become adults. That was all. It was an end goal to me. To me, them winning a trophy as children at 10 or 11 is pointless, honestly. Now, some people say, oh, no, it does a lot for their self-esteem and so on. And I say, well, development, in my opinion, does more. And if through the development that happens, so be it. But developing young men to become better and ensuring that, they're not just coming here to play football, but they're coming to be better individuals to develop character. And so I liken it to that. Whenever I enter a situation, it's about improving the standard, improving the situation overall, not just giving people stuff. And as Judith Parsons mentioned, immediate gratification. Shari said his audience at the time and place is building wealth, but I don't think there's any thought to generational versus immediate. Rick Olson, I'm sure Mr. Keynes gave this a lot of thought as a political ploy for his campaign. Accountability is an act of love, period. Alia, I want to believe that. I'm sure Carla wants to believe that. I'm sure all of us want to believe that. But is it? Is it? It should be. Holding people accountable should really be something that we want to do every day for the benefit of our community, our family, our friends, ourselves. But for some reason, it comes across like holding people accountable is complaining. For some reason, it comes across like holding people accountable is degrading, and it's not helpful, and it's just a waste of time. Holding people accountable is the least you can do. The same way that people say that we should get out to vote because our ancestors died for it and all that, we should be screaming for people to hold their government officials accountable in the same manner. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Kathy Brombury says, it's about controlling how a person conducts themselves. I guess I need to watch the video. Was he using a pop football? What's a pop football? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, Kathy, pop football. No, I'm focusing on the money he put up. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't say the 6,000. That's why I said 1,000. I was discussing what he had put up. Do you have the video and show it? Well, I'm not going to show other people's content, but maybe Carla is somewhere online. I know. I'll say this much. I did see an OBA politician share it online, so you can go check them out. I'm sure they're using it for their whatever they need it for.
Marketing campaign.
Yeah. Charles, Carla.
In my opinion, any of the issues he has had on their own are probably not that big of a deal, but when you put them all together, it causes some to have concern.
I totally would agree with Charles. The drive and do care, it's not that big to me. The incident with the COVID thing, yeah, I think it was hypocrisy more than anything, but I don't think it really hurt anybody. I agree. I don't think the one issue alone is like, oh, get rid of it. I don't think it's that. But when you continue, that's why I said own goal. It continues to happen. You start to feel like what Shari Lynn explained earlier, without consequences. Of course, who's going to take it seriously, right? Tamara Richardson says, it's probably time for a wider discussion about charity and our responsibility to begin measuring if our charity is helping or again for optics, making the giver look like the savior and the rescuer, which ultimately benefits the giver more than the receiver. Well, we're going to start talking about this stuff more often because I think, especially in the Black community, we think that charity equates to some Jesus moment for people. I've said from jump when it comes to charity, I'm very cautious about it because of how people have traditionally used charity. You should not remember the person who's donated or given the charity. What you should remember is how it impacted and helped the people who are benefiting from that charity. Charity is something that, as I said, Van Keynes ticks all the boxes of a politician, the community service, the charity, everything. I think the greatest, and it might have been Craig Kennener that actually said this, but the best charity is providing jobs. But I would go a step further. The best charity that you can give your community is jobs and opportunities. And those opportunities can be educational. Those opportunities can be entrepreneurship, but that's the best charity. Charity worked back in the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, but we're in a place now. We don't need more charity. We need opportunities. That's what we need. Neil Williams, Carla.
Yes, give a man a fish, he will eat for a day, but teach him how to fish and he can sustain his life long term.
Indeed. Point exactly. Vanessa Pula says, agreed 1000%. Well, that's not 1000, but it's like 100,000. We lack the understanding of taking what little we have and having the discipline by investing into ourselves in a way for long-term stability. Tournament was good to bring together as a community. However, perhaps the community themselves could pick each other up every single day going forward. Kickstart. Point made. Charles says, Jamal Hartman in 5 years, our goal should be for all Bermudians to have the right to vote no matter where we live. I don't see anything wrong with that. Jennifer Butterfield, the 1,000 was raised by me and his brothers, 5,000 to 2 teams, and playing the game for a total 6. Yes, that is correct. But I focused on the 1,000 because we're talking about Lane Keynes. So, yeah, always interesting. And I will say, at this point, you know what? I'm going to put a question out to everyone. Here's a question I'm going to ask you today. Because you have stuff like that done, and you see how nasty the politics is in the US. And I said that, thankfully it doesn't get that bad in Bermuda. But have you already made up your mind who you're voting for? The election's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right? Is there anything that can be done that will change your mind at this point? Like, at the end of the day, forget how Jamal or Carla or any viewer who has shared comments may say about your candidate or whoever. But have you made up your mind? Like, whether you're voting, whether you're spoiling your vote, whether you're not voting, have you decided on what you're going to do? James Birch says no. Elizabeth says yup. And Shari says no, just election. Oh, she's talking to Landria. No, just election eve today. $1,000. Nope. Oh, no. Jody Eve, yes, I have. Cherie Dill, no. This is interesting. Wow. We got some yeses coming in. And then made up my mind not to vote. Nope, no decision. Not one party has put a platform forward that I stand behind. I will figure it out tomorrow. You know why I asked this question, folks? You know why I asked this question? This answer right here sums it up. There's nothing that she believes has been put out that she stands behind. And there's an election that begins tomorrow, 23 hours pretty much, 8 a.m. tomorrow. And we have this situation. I'm going to tell you my hope for tomorrow. My hope is that whoever is the government after the polls close tomorrow night, that the Bermudian people get behind that administration, that they support, whether it's David Burt's administration or Craig Cannonier's administration or a coalition with Mark Bean. I really hope that the electorate supports whoever the government of the day is. And with that support, understands the responsibility to hold them accountable.
You know what I'm interested in? What I'll be, can't wait to see at the end of it all, the voter turnout. I'm very intrigued to see what the voter turnout is going to be. And I think that's going to speak volumes as well.
It's interesting you mentioned voter turnout because voter turnout has traditionally not worked in the favor of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party, right? If voters turn out, I think the PLP traditionally would believe they have a great shot at winning by a great margin. Quite a few people have mentioned low voter turnout. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think you could be right. Everyone that's saying that, I think you could be right. I just haven't gotten that feeling as of yet. But again, we have people that don't know which way they're voting tomorrow, so a lot can change. A lot can change. So Deshaun says, I think we all need a root drinking vacation after October 1st. Tanea says, voter turnout will be exceptionally low. I have no doubt. Jackie says, get out and put the work into the community regardless. Let's not wait for government anymore. I agree. I agree. Wow. Rick Olson says, voter turnout over under 60%. Wow. Are you asking the question? Because if it's under 6, I don't think it's going to be under 60%, Rick. No way. Really? You guys think voter turnout is going to be that low?
I was thinking 40, but my hunches are always wrong.
Really?
So that's the number I had in my mind, was like 40, 45. I think people are so disgusted right now, even with all the campaigning and the smudge campaigning. I think it's turning a lot of people off. It's like, this is what you're giving us, and it's coming from all over the place. So,
well, Kathy Bromby makes a great point. Keep in mind, there are 3 constituencies that are not voting. So voting obviously is going to be, my numbers will be a bit lower if people are not voting in those constituencies. But I think all things considered, remove them and just use
right
there. But it's look, this is going to be an interesting election, a very interesting election, Carla. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. I'm honestly looking forward to it being over, to analyze and quickly get back to work of holding the government accountable. I really, really, really plead with Bermudians, and I do this from my heart as a Bermudian who has fought all the way to the Privy Council against a government, as a Bermudian who has stood up and questioned sitting premiers, as a Bermudian who is disgusted by the political landscape in Bermuda over the my whole adulthood. I just plead with you, regardless of who you support, to hold the people responsible for legislation and policies. Hold them accountable. You deserve it. You deserve it. Seriously. It's the least you deserve. I had someone hit me up last night. Man, you give no one any breaks. I don't have time to sit down and side with David Burt, Craig Kenner, or Mark Bean. That's not in my interest, not in my family's interest, not in the community's interest. We have to have honest conversations. And those honest conversations have to be about what's in the best interest for all of you, not what's in the best interest of my politics. Back to the comments. Quinell Francis says, low voter turnout usually goes in favor of the opposition. Yep. In this case, OBA, FDM. Tamara Richardson, with COVID restrictions, if the lines are long, then it also affect turnout. Yeah, I would say one of the things that someone jokingly said to me also, COVID, along with if it's a rainy day, kiss votes. And I never realized rain played an impact. Charles Carla.
He's agreeing with Tammy Richardson. I'm always a little suspicious of those who give for the publicity, but I understand the need for it, especially corporations and high wealth individuals, as they are often accused of not being community minded.
Judith says, I believe if the FDM has an option, the turnout will be higher than I initially thought. Sherilyn says it's 2020, and she rightly says anything can happen. Jody Eve, I agree, Carla. People are quite disgusted and feeling why bother voting? It's been a straight up circus. And wow, holding politicians accountable means getting involved when necessary. Get off the couch. Well, yeah, yes and no.
But you know what, Jamal? I'm hoping that we can invoke movement. You've had some engaging discussions, so I hope that after the election, people do take these conversations seriously, and everybody does a bit to make everyone accountable.
Well, look, we have the daily play. Carla's trying to get away from that. So let's do the daily play. Carla's going to give you some inspiration. We'll let you go for the day. I'll keep preaching right up till tomorrow when I give my predictions in the morning. Don't forget that we will be live with special coverage tomorrow evening, election night coverage tomorrow evening on our platforms, the Full 100 Radio, the Daily Hour, as well as Channel 82 on one. But here is the daily play for today, Carla. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. It's a song. It's lyrics to a song that she has to guess, folks. Well, you know what? Let's go pay some bill. Let's go pay a bill, and then we'll come back. I'm going to give everyone some time. Let's pay a bill. We'll come back.
Bermuda College has facilitated the success of thousands of Bermuda students since 1974. Today, we take great pride in providing quality instruction, innovative education, and unparalleled student support. Bermuda College is now seeking to extend its tradition of customized commitment by recruiting credentialed faculty who share our passion for delivering instruction that will inspire and challenge minds.
How did I get involved in teaching? It was through the fascination of meeting people and university, the things professors explained to me in ways that I'd never even conceived of before. To see students' eyes light up when they suddenly understand because of something you've told them why things have happened the way they have in the past or why they do certain things. I can think of nothing more rewarding than being a teacher.
To learn more, plan to attend one of the online information sessions. Times and webinar details are on the college website at college.pm.
All righty, here we go. So election night coverage will begin at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll be discussing results as they come in. You can engage with us on social media. Watch us on Channel 82 beginning at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Here's the daily play. It's a song. Help Carla get these lyrics. Quote, "Build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you." End quote.
Build my world of dreams. You don't have to repeat it, but I don't know. I just don't know.
I'm going to give you a hint.
Okay.
It is a song from the Motown era. And it was remade by Mariah Carey.
I don't know.
Here we go. Build my world of dreams around you. I'm so glad that I found you. End quote. No one can help.
Oh, I know what it is. Miracles Whitney. I can hear it, but I don't know what's the song. Dream Lover? No.
If you should ever find someone new, I know be good to you.
I failed.
My name.
I failed. Give me the Mariah version.
I was just giving you the name of the song. I'll be there. Jackson 5, I'll be there.
Oh.
Mariah Carey.
You and I. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I try to help her, folks. I try to help her. But we got Carla. Look, Andrea's saying, come on, Carla. But yeah, Jackson 5, I'll be there. So hopefully
I didn't.
After tomorrow, your politicians will still be there for you rather than just around election time and asking you to be there for them. So
good play.
I try. What you got for inspiration, Carla?
You were put on this earth to achieve your greatest self, to live out your purpose, and to do it courageously. Steve Maraboli.
All right, Steve Maraboli. Good one for today. Any final words before we head out until election day?
Just keep thinking who you're going to vote, guys, so you can make them accountable.
Make them accountable. All righty. Well, folks, honestly, thank you. We appreciate you on 101. And I will say, if you haven't already, make sure you set your alarm tomorrow night, 8 p.m. We will be live on our social media channels as well as Channel 82, bringing you live election night coverage. On that note, we appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House. All recorded episodes and highlights can be found at thedailyhour.com. Stay connected with us by following us at The Daily Hour on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.